Hi, Kelly Hushin here from Retail Europe 2012, and I'm here with Bastiaan from Hotels.com. Thanks for being here.
You're welcome.
And Bastiaan just sat on a panel where a bunch of speakers from various companies were talking about social media. Big topic here at the event, of course, always a big topic at any retail or online retail event that is. So why don't you just tell us a little bit about what social media means to Hotels.com, how important is it, has it risen in importance, and how are you guys dealing with it, as surely, when a traveler is looking for a hotel, social media might be something very important.
Yeah, I think we're pretty much on a journey to stick with the travel theme. I think we've become more serious about social in the last 6 months when, I guess, with the rise of TripAdvisor being a prime example of a social network that has a lot of user-generated content on hotels, on destinations, on restaurants. We already saw a lot of traffic coming from that into hotels.com that converted into sales. We noticed more and more traffic coming from Facebook as well. And that was without us doing anything, right? So I think once you sort of see something happening naturally and you start to understand that social media is a way for people to communicate about travel, about destinations, about hotels, it's really about making that part of your overall marketing strategy and finding the right way to both experiment, because I think experimenting is really important in social, because I think nobody really has found the ultimate way to do social just yet. So being in a position where you can experiment is really important, but also making sure that you deliver value to the business on the back of your social media activity. And I think, one of the things that kept coming up on the panel just now was around engagement versus traffic. I think from a brand perspective and how people talk about your brand, engagement is obviously really important. For us, ultimately, it's going to be about traffic, because that's where we get our sales. And if we can find the right way to generate qualified traffic from Facebook by feeding the right kind of content to people, the right kind of hotels, the right kind of destinations that people resonate with, and that ultimately will lead to sales, I think. And another thing that I mentioned on the panel just now is I'm a very strong believer in personalization. I think that with social media, previously conversations about travel and where people were going were happening offline, in living rooms, in pubs, whatever. This is moving increasingly online, and it leaves a trail and it leaves data points. So you can start seeing what kind of things people like on certain websites, what kind of conversations are going on, and I think using those data points to deliver a more personalized experience, for example, we've noticed by scanning your Facebook graph that you've got an interest in luxury products, that you tend to go to beach destinations because you've checked in there quite a bit. We can build up a picture of you as a travel buyer and serve you the right kind of content that we think will suit you.
Right. So when you talk about traffic and you say for us it's really about traffic, what you're saying then is it's really a numbers game? Is it sort of, the more likes you get, the more people you'll end up getting to your site, the more conversions you'll have?
I think that there is an element of a numbers game in there for sure. I think that it's the discussion around quality versus quantity. I think there's no point in having millions and millions of fans on your Facebook page without them doing anything, just sitting there. The same to having an email database that consists of 10 million people and only 1% of them being active and clicking on your content. So quality is definitely important. You want to attract the right kind of customers. But on the other hand, without numbers, there's never going to be anything that really impacts the business dramatically, you know what I mean?
Right.
Especially in a business like ours where we sell quite a few hotel rooms on a daily basis. If you only have a handful of people on your social media presences, then the volume of that traffic will never reach any critical mass.
Right, absolutely. So a lot of talk, obviously, about ROI.
Yeah.
What's the ROI? It's the big question. Everyone always asks it every year, it seems. Do you think we're any closer as an industry to really measuring the ROI of social media? It seems like it's always the same conversation. Are we getting closer? Is there a standard that you guys implement to try and measure this?
I think the problem with this is that it's hugely dependent on what you're trying to achieve. I think social is so big and so broad and so nebulous that you really need to start defining first what you want to achieve as a business, and then develop the right metrics to measure how you are fulfilling it against those metrics. So if in our case it's around sales, we need to find a way to measure what kind of sales social media is delivering to us. But I think it really depends. I mean, for some it could be that they find a much more efficient way to serve customers, or to create a form or community that self-services in a way, and therefore reduce inbound traffic into their call center, for example. It could be around conversion rates on your website. So if you allow people to bring their friends into a shopping experience, that might drive personalization, that might then drive higher conversion rates, and that might be a way to measure ROI. So it really depends on what you're trying to achieve.
And what about, just as an offshoot of the social media discussion, social commerce? What is the effort there that, is Hotels.com taking any strides towards trying to get people to actually buy through Facebook or through Twitter or through the social channels?
What we are currently doing is more working on having people qualify themselves within Facebook. We're building a Facebook app in which we showcase destinations that we think those individuals will like based on their data, and then we show them our best deals on those destinations, and people then, to buy that particular deal, they have to go to hotels.com. And I think the consumer isn't quite ready yet to transact, especially with a high ticket item like a hotel room. Plus, if you consider what choosing a hotel means in terms of all the different product elements you need to take into consideration, like location, like photos, like reviews, optimizing that booking path is a really, really complex thing. And we've got a huge team in Asia doing that all the time for the site. To replicate that team for Facebook might happen, in the near future, but we're just not quite there yet. We now think that from a conversion perspective and really offering someone the breadth that we can offer on Hotels.com when it comes to selecting the right hotel, we're better off putting them off to H1 rather than having conversion take place at this moment in time.
Okay, well, great. Thank you so much, Bastiaan, for joining me and for also joining us here at the conference. And we look forward to the rest of it and hope you have a great time here.
Thank you very much. Nice to meet you.
Thank you.